The EPA has just announced that the exhaust from jet engines is harmful to both people and the environment. So you know what that means. Get your spray bottles full of vinegar ready because chemtrails are real. You can tell that this means they're real because the articles about this story have pictures of jets with contrails, or chemtrails as they're known to conspiracy theorists. For those of you who haven't seen any of my previous videos on the subject, allow me to briefly explain. Contrails are short for condensation trails. They're those white lines that you sometimes see in the sky when a plane flies by, and it just comes from water vapor from the engine. Chemtrails is the name given to contrails by conspiracy theorists who believe that those white lines are actually chemicals that the government is purposefully putting into the air to poison and or mind control civilians. So now the EPA has admitted that airplanes are poisoning us. So does that mean that chemtrails are real? No. Here's what's happening. Planes, just like cars and trucks and boats and trains, are releasing greenhouse gases all the time, invisibly. The lines that we see, contrails, just show up when the air is cold enough for that water vapor to freeze. Think of it this way. Every day, including at this very moment, you are releasing greenhouse gases. Every time you inhale, you take in about 0.04% carbon dioxide, and every time you exhale 4 to 5% carbon dioxide. That's 100 times more. You polluting, disgusting beast. This happens all day, every day, and it happens invisibly. You don't see it happen. And yet, you can actually see your breath come out of your mouth when it gets cold enough and the warm, damp air from your lungs meets the cold outside air. You get that vapor trail. And if it's very cold, say -40 Fahrenheit or Celsius, doesn't matter at that point, your vapor will freeze in the air, exactly like contrails do in the sky. So just like an airplane, you're pumping out a greenhouse gas all the time, but you can only see your breath when it's very cold. Does that mean that when it's very cold, the government is using you to poison and or mind control the people around you? I hope not. Ultimately, I think it's a good thing that the EPA is cracking down on emissions, though it is worth noting that airplane emissions only account for about 2% of greenhouse gases. The government could probably do a better job of reducing our greenhouse gases if we, built infrastructure that allowed high-speed trains to carry most of our goods and our people around, since trains are one of the least polluting methods of transportation that we have. Or all of us could just decide to stop consuming so goddamn much, since a huge portion of greenhouse gases, about 21%, come from the production of material goods and another 9% come from agriculture. So I guess that's the nice thing about living in what are basically the end times when we're destroying our planet in a million different ways. There are so many options for how we can make a positive impact on the world, or at least make less of a negative impact, I guess.